Hey guys, good morning, welcome to the live session of Stock Sniper Trading. My name is Dave, guys, my partner is Ron. Let's get down to business here, guys.
In on US 30, sell, okay? I'm jumping in. Guys, that's a 100 pip drop. Yes, we caught it. Hey, guys, 200 pips, please, secure.
Hey guys, good morning, welcome to the live session of Stocks Never Trading. My name is Dave, guys, my partner is Ron. Let's get down to business here, guys.
In on US 30, sell. Okay, I'm jumping in. Guys, that's a 100 pip drop. Yes, we caught it. Hey, guys, 200 pips, please secure.
Recording in progress.
Hey, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining. Happy Tuesday. It is just before 11 a.m. Eastern. It's 10:55 a.m. Eastern over here. It is Tuesday, April 8th. Thank you everyone for joining. We do appreciate you. Welcome to Stock Sniper Trading. My name is Ron. My partner is Dave, and we're going to help navigate you guys through the markets. So just want to say shout out to everybody that's handling this type of volume, this type of volatility the last few weeks. It is, maybe some of you guys have never traded this type of volatility. So just a word of caution is just use proper risk management when you're trading this. Adjust your sizing a little smaller, because you can see the volume if you measure the size of the candles, whether you're looking on the 5 minutes, the 15 minutes, the hourly candles, you probably see that there's a little bit more volume than normal. That's how the markets are trading due to the volatility and everything that's going on around the world. Okay, it's a little obstacle, a little bump in the road that we do need to navigate through as a trader, investor. You got this is normal. You know, this is normal. This is a cycle that happens every couple years, every decade. You know, we go through this. So I just want to let you guys know it is normal. Markets do go through this type of phase, but it's up to us just to navigate appropriately through this. Okay. And if you guys are doing really well, again, my shout outs to you guys. Congratulations for you guys that are hitting your daily goals. You're passing your challenges. You're getting some payouts. That's fantastic, guys. That's amazing. And for others that are struggling, starting to, learn this and, still bumps in the road, just take your time with this. It takes time, but don't over risk too much in this type of environment, because it probably won't be the best situation if you do that. Okay, so right now on the 5 minutes, gold is pushing down, just going into 11 a.m. and NASDAQ has kind of topped up here. You can see how it consolidated, and we're pushing down. So will it push down and then we'll have another leg going back up, or we got to find where the bottom is? So that's what we got to do, a top-down analysis. We'll get there. Just got to go quickly through the news, guys. I'm gonna be talking real fast. I had a couple coffees today, and we're ready to go, because we're gonna go for 2 hours, a little bit over 2 hours, because I do got to wrap it up just after 11 because I have an appointment. So let's just quickly go through everything right now. News wise, Forex Factory, real quick. We had in Europe, we had a 30-year bond auction. In UK, it's already out. We had a German 10-year bond auction already out. Okay, what we can see is the Asian session. Remember how deep red Asia was yesterday, and that volume moved into New York yesterday. It was a very bearish day. Kind of recovered near the afternoon, but still relatively bearish yesterday. Some securities recovered. Overnight in the futures, moving back into the Asian session, we're seeing the Asian markets have rebounded. So that's kind of moving into New York right now. You're seeing some green across the board. So we'll see if we can maintain that today and move into tomorrow. But there is some news this week. Also later tonight, guys, just make sure you are aware. President Trump speaks at 6:45 tonight. Okay, maybe he's not talking about the markets or tariffs or something like that, but it might become something completely different. But the markets still listen to what he's saying. So just be careful at 6:45. If you want to tune in, you can listen to it. What it is he's due to speak at the National Republican Congressional Committee dinner in Washington, D.C. And again, I don't know what it will be, what he's talking about and things like that, but just pay attention to anytime you see like Powell speaking, Trump speaking, any of these big names, they can affect the markets. And later tonight we have some in New Zealand. You do have your rates coming out. It looks like they're forecasting a 0.25% decrease in interest rates in New Zealand. Okay, so that's the news for today. Earnings. just pre-market, we had Tilray. It's a cannabis company. I'm telling you, like this is not looking good for cannabis. They're not making any money. The government destroyed this sector. You can see that had estimates of 211 million, and they couldn't even come close to that 185 disappointment. And you see their EPS, earnings per share, is even worse than so not looking good, not looking good for cannabis right now. It's good, looking good to smoke it, but not looking good to invest in it right now. Too much uncertainty in that sector right now. I'll give you guys a heads up when it starts heating up, and I'll let you guys know what securities to keep your eyes on. Right now, Trump speaks with South Korea, says we are waiting for China's call. So tomorrow, guys. So right now there's some relief in Tokyo, in Asia, in China, and everywhere. But tomorrow, China has said that they're going to retaliate with additional tariffs on top of what Trump put on them. So maybe tomorrow, if those go into effect, it might be another red day in the market. So today might just be like a little range day, cool off day, because we've been pushing down for multiple days and weeks. Maybe it's just cooling off. But again, tomorrow we have to see what's going on over here, because that could dictate the way how we move midweek, Wednesday. If China says we're going to take those off, we're not going to put them, that might be positive for the market, and then we might see a little bullish day again continuing to tomorrow. However, if they do implement additional retaliatory tariffs, that might be it might be bearish for the markets again. Okay, so that's tomorrow. China says it will fight to the end after Trump threatens more tariffs. This was released 3 hours ago. Movie theaters, we went to watch Minecraft on the weekend. Here, Cineplex reports 29.5 million March box office, down from 60 million a year ago. So not a lot of individuals are going to the movies anymore. That might be because, yeah, it is a lot of money to go and spend on popcorn and the drink. It costs, like my family, when we go, it's like $100 with tickets and popcorn and drinks and candy and things like that. It's a lot of money. But also on the flip side is there's not the greatest movies that have been out lately. So that's another thing. Maybe that's why sales are down, because there's not much good movies like there used to be. That's just my opinion. Nvidia over here. Okay, so remember we were talking about this, where there's certain opportunities. It dropped below 100, it dropped below 90 yesterday. I think it got down to 88 and then bounced back up to back over 100. And look at now, Nvidia's back up 6.25%. So there's also opportunities. Look, this is the tech sector. So you think just the tech sector is just going to fall flat and go down to zero and that's it? We're going to have no more technology in the future? I don't think so. Okay, right now they're taking a little bit of a hit due to tariffs and things like that. But once everything stabilizes, there's going to be opportunities in these sectors for everybody. So it's not doom and gloom, it's opportunities, guys. So that's what I want us to be come into these markets, be professional, not panic, to just look for opportunities, look for good sound discounts for solid securities, and that's what we do here. So I hope you guys are learning too, and you're getting better and better at this. Okay. And us at SST will try our best to provide you guys with all the solid information you guys need. But we encourage you guys to ask questions and get involved and help us out. I can't read your mind. Dave can't read your mind. Snipers can't read your mind. We don't know what you guys want out of the markets. Feedback is good. Get in the chat right now, like on YouTube and Zoom. Let me know what you guys... And then this is how I go forward with Q&As, with the Coach's Corner that we're going to do on Thursday, upcoming webinars. I work with you guys. You guys let me know what you guys need. Okay, so stock market today, Dow pops nearly 1,300 points as S&P and NASDAQ surge on hopes for Trump tariff deals. Okay, so that's positive. This is positive news. Did you guys see that little glitch yesterday where a reporter, he wasn't even a reporter, he was just a normal person, I believe, on Twitter, and his last name was Bloomberg, and he said he reported when there was a reporter in front of the office was asking them about tariffs, and he just started to say yes and then continue the sentence, and they caught it like there's going to be relief in tariffs. And you saw that bullish move yesterday where it pumped and then it dumped right after they found it was false. That was a $2 trillion move. Like, that's how much the markets are just waiting for some type of relief. And you see how it bounced yesterday and then found it was false, and it didn't really happen, and then it dumped right back down. So guys, that's the volatility. Just a tweet it can turn these markets. And especially if this guy, Donald Trump or Powell or someone is tweeting, it can affect the markets, guys. That's why you have to trade with the utmost proper risk management in things like this. Okay, so continuing to move here. Bill Ackman calls for a pause on implementing Trump's tariffs. So you can start to see there's different perspectives on tariffs. I've been against tariffs from day one, not just the start of this, but from years back. I know that tariffs are... I don't know. I have mixed feelings about them. I don't think they're good for the economy. But anyways, we got some green over here. Okay, so let's take a look at the U.S. markets. S&P is up 3%. Fantastic. Dow has recovered 2.7% today. NASDAQ is leading the way, 3.5. That's tech right there. Russell, the mid caps are moving. Crude oil is bouncing. Gold is bouncing. We got green. Some securities here, just looking at Target reached all-time lows. It's starting to bounce a little bit. I like Enbridge for dividend securities. It's in the green. Alibaba is down. MicroStrategy has bounced a little bit. Just looking here at my watch list or recently viewed here, Boeing is up, AMD is up, Netflix is up, Nvidia is up almost 7% right now. Apple is up. So lots going on here, okay? And let's just continue, guys. I just want you guys to listen to this real quick. So this is the Asian stocks rebound after worst day on record yesterday. So let's listen right here. If you guys, let me know if you can hear.
Well, it's a bit of a turnaround Tuesday, as you were saying there, but the conviction levels don't seem to be very high. If you look at the trading volumes, are not that great. And if you look at Japan, is doing slightly better, of course. It looks as though they're in the driving seat. They're possibly going to get a deal earlier with Donald Trump. But as you were saying earlier, China seems to be taking a much harder line, and that's reflected in what we're seeing in Hong Kong and Chinese equities today, although there are sufficient...
So these are the different exchanges around the world. The Nikkei is the Japanese exchange. It's recovered almost 6%. The Hang Seng, this is the Chinese markets, up 1.5. So you can see that all of these were deep in the red yesterday, and that momentum, that volume moved into United States and the North American markets. Right now in the futures, the Asian markets were green, so that's how that moved into, so we see the US markets are green too. So it's good to pay attention around the world, what's going on, because this volume, it's got a cycle the way the markets close. We have after hours, we got the New Zealand, Australians starting it. Then it moves into the futures where it gets into the Tokyo sessions, and it moves into Europe. Europe comes into North America, and we go through this cycle every single day. So it's good to plan ahead. This is like a top-down analysis starting from the very top.
Official support measures going on by the Chinese authorities. We've seen the PBOC announced earlier today it was going to provide more money for the ETF funds, which go directly into the market on behalf of the Chinese government. So that is happening. But still...
Okay, so did you hear what he said? They're going to put more money into the ETFs, and the ETFs will go into these exchanges, and the ETFs are part of these. So that's why the more money they put in ETFs, the electronic trading funds, it will start to, get these things more volume. And this is like a recovery right over here, okay?
People are very, very cautious. As you say, we've seen some extraordinary moves, particularly over the past 3 trading sessions. And the rebounds today are nowhere near enough to put people on the situation to say, yes, this is a very strong rebound. We're very bullish now about the market. People are really holding back, and they're looking ahead to what's going to be a very difficult week. The mixed messages are coming out, whether or not there are going to be any concessions or not, whether there's any room for people to negotiate properly on this. And all in all, it's telling you that nobody here in Asia especially is really ready to say, okay, that's it, market is turning for the better. And of course, the big absence is movements from central banks. People are looking back to 2020 when the pandemic started, markets cratered, but central banks came in very quickly to provide high liquidity and to stimulate markets. That is not happening this time around. The Federal Reserve is noticeably taking a very cautious approach, and other global central banks are looking to them for leadership. That is not happening at the moment. The Federal Reserve is more interested in inflation concerns, and that is filtering through to financial markets. So for the time being, yes, we're seeing a reasonable amount of green. we are not seeing a high conviction that people think this is the turnaround that's going to set us back on a bull market.
Okay, no high conviction. We wait to see if the central banks are pulled from the sideline. As you say,
Okay, so did you guys understand what this gentleman said there? There's no high conviction right now that the markets are turning bullish. Today's a good day. It's a green day. But there's still this week a lot of things that are going to come out. So tomorrow, China has said that they're going to retaliate with an additional tariffs on top of what U.S. has put, what Trump has put on. So that is maybe what the market is waiting for. So today it could be like, think about candlestick wise. Today might be when we go to the daily and we start breaking things down. Today might just be like a consolidating day. We'll see if it can continue tomorrow or if it will come back down. It could be like a little bit of a bounce and continue to move down bearish this week. So I know a lot of it's beautiful to see green in the market. It gives us hope and things like that things are going to recover. But always understand one move tomorrow could continue, we move down bearish. Okay, so you can see in Asia right now, they're not 100% convinced that it's going to change momentum for them on their side of the world over here. So everything is connected. Everything is connected around the world financially in these markets.
So to what extent could China look to the yuan, the currency, as a pressure valve as President Trump threatens additional 50% tariffs? So you're looking at 104% just in this current presidential term, of course, on Chinese goods. Is the yuan a pressure valve that China may reach for?
Okay, so it's good enough, guys. I just wanted to make sure you guys understand this. I like watching these. Hopefully we can watch more of these together and we can dissect all these. If you guys have any good clips or videos that you want my input on, I'm more than happy to play them for everybody and we can kind of see what the experts are saying, okay? So let's get into this, guys. Let's get into gold right now, and we'll do NASDAQ as well. We're going to start off with a top-down analysis. We're not going to just jump in on the 5 minutes. This is how it's currently trading on the 5s, but we're going to start off on the daily, okay? So thanks, everyone, for joining on YouTube. Do appreciate you guys, and everyone on Zoom, thank you guys for joining. Welcome, good morning. Thank you, guys. Schofield, welcome. Miziel, welcome. I hope I said that correctly. Conrad, thank you for joining. Ephraim, thank you for joining, my man. Red Clues, thank you. Mark, welcome, good morning. Trap Phone, welcome, bro. SSDN, thank you for joining. Welcome. Bruce, welcome. Dow is dropping like it's hot. Okay, so Dow is pushing down now. Okay, so markets maybe have stabilized, found the top and coming down. I can see it. So we'll talk all about it. Welcome. Good morning, Val. Mike, thank you for joining, guys. And everyone on YouTube, I appreciate you guys as well. Thank you guys for joining. Welcome, Tony Gold. Thank you for joining. Habibi, thank you. Fetty GNX, welcome. Win, Adnan, welcome. No Drip Network, welcome. Jay, that's why TradingView crashed yesterday. I don't know exactly, but yeah, there was a lot of things that happened yesterday when kind of got that news and that pump in the market. Welcome, guys. Here, Piggy. Listen to these guys that retired early, Ronnie Bears. Good for you, bro. Congratulations. Anytime anyone can retire is an amazing financial freedom. Good for you, man. Welcome, everyone. Okay, let's get started. Let's go on the daily. Let's check out what's going on gold. I'm going to move a little bit quicker, okay, guys? So I hope you guys tune in daily and to see like what I do here. So let's move. This is all-time high supply for gold. We are nowhere near it, but it's good to identify it, stretch it into the future. Here was another pivot in the market. It was a reversal pivot right here, stretching it into the future. You can see how it's still acting as supply below the all-time high supply box. Let's stretch that into the future and let's just continue cooking here. What do we got over here? Here is another reversal bearish pivot in the market right over here from the previous all-time high. And if we stretch it into the future, that volume-based bar on March 13 closed above. So let's just go through the motions. Let's make it green and let's stretch it into the future. So yesterday you can see we tapped right into it, right on the top of that box, and we kind of pushed out, and that's what I mean. Today's like an inside bar day. We'll see if it can continue going bullish like today and tomorrow, or it's just going to kind of like flag down here and might continue to push down tomorrow, depending what China says about the retaliatory tariffs. Okay, so you can see it's a game of tariffs now. It's a tariff war. That's what it is. Not a turf war, it's a tariff war. But that's what we got right now. Again, if it continues to push down, for example, this week, next week, and the markets continue to move down, which it quite possibly can, gold continues maybe to sell off, then maybe I would pay attention to this block in the market right around here, and stretch that again into the future. Okay, so let's get started now by dissecting the last few days. Okay, so if you guys were sleeping the last few days, you maybe missed out on a lot of bearish moves lately. Okay, so it started when it tapped into the all-time high last Thursday. Friday was a very bearish day on gold, continued to close below this, and it continued starting this week. So you can see the high this week continued to push down. That was yesterday's low. There was a little bit of a bounce and we closed right here. So now when I'm looking at some positions, some points of interest, number one, I always look at where a body closed and where a body opened right there. And I place a yellow line on the daily to represent a daily point of interest. So I can see around 2,983 is where we closed yesterday and where we opened today. I can see that when we opened today, there was a small drawdown to 2,978. So that's a purple line down there. That's the low of the day. It's very, very shallow. It's a small pullback. It's not too far from where it opened. So it was just open, slight pullback and continued to drive. So it was bullish. And you can see relative to yesterday, the low today is higher than yesterday's low, and we still are above the daily demand box. Okay, so we see a nice bullish candle being printed, and it was bullish, 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 bullish. It came all the way up, and that's the high of today, 3,023.24. That's our high of the day up there. So purple line. Now I can see when we traded, where did we trade into? We kind of traded into this zone right here, and you can see now how I can see these bodies relative to the purple line, and right there, if I was to, just like when you're consolidating those bars, just like there, if you consolidated them and you trapped them and you made them a neutral color, you can see if you stretch it, they actually provided some sort of support where it didn't really break and then it pivoted right back up. So if I go with this same exact zone and I bring it into the future, you can see how that wick came right in there, which it would have been a green box, and went back up. Now I'm stretching it again, and you can see how we're still kind of below, like we got the meat of that big body candle yesterday right there. And now I can see we traded right into it today, and they've rejected it back down. So I'm going to stretch this neutral zone into the future, and I'm going to make it red, because now you can clearly see how we traded into it earlier today, and then it got rejected. So we're going to see if the buyers can come back into this red zone, but we have to represent it with offers up there, with supply. If today's daily candle can come back up with a nice volume, get to the high of the day, and let's say for example we close above here, this inside zone we can flip it green, and we can see if we can build off of this tomorrow and maybe break out of this zone, and then you can see how you have some clear traction to run up here. But that's going to depend too on China's decision, what they're doing with retaliatory tariffs. Okay, so right now you see we're kind of consolidating right in here. What I like to do too myself is I look at the current volume that's still in the candle today, and I like to identify where half of it is. So I'm just going to do it there today, like right there, and I'm not going to use the Fibonacci tool today because we got to move a little faster. So to me that looks like half the volume right there. Again, if you want to draw like a little bit of a zone, you can go like a little bit above, depending on how big you want to do it. I would see, like, I can connect those two wicks right there. I know that's a bigger zone than normal, but if it comes back, this could be like where we get some nice pullback entries inside here. If it comes all the way back down, we could be buying where the heart is and then continue to take it back up. Okay, and if we're selling down in here and we're in a sell and we're making money going down, we have to acknowledge that there is buyers in here. So you might be selling down there and then it might come back up. Okay, so that's what we got on the daily on gold. Any substantial patterns that we can look at, this is what I can see overall. Like here's like a left shoulder, this entire zone here. There's our head that broke out to the all-time high, and you see where we're kind of trading right back in this area right here. So it looks like it's kind of we're back into the shoulder, the right shoulder. So traditionally, head and shoulder pattern typically has a high probability of continuing to push down. Unless we get good volume closing, like back above here, we retest this, then it might reverse and then we're coming back up here. Okay, so and then we're leading into midweek Wednesday tomorrow. So everything looks good on gold. Maybe it's just stabilizing, had to pull back, and maybe it might have its next leg up. But it could trade in here for the next couple days. The market is waiting to see what China is going to say tomorrow. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the 1 hour. So I'm dissecting that daily candle, breaking it down into individual hours now. Now I can specifically see the time of day, the hour, when it made big moves, when it hit highs, when it hit lows, what time was it, and things like that. So this was yesterday, Monday, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., noon. You can see how bearish it was. We hit a bottom right there at 1 p.m. yesterday, and it's been moving up since then, making some higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, a new higher high. And now the hourly candles are consolidating in here. So they're coming into the red zone, coming back into the green zone, going back up, coming up to the top. That's the high of the day right there. We reached it at Wall Street, 9 a.m. and continuing to push down. But you can see we're getting good hourly support at 3,002 right here. So if I was to place a quick white line right here, you see where there's a lot of support on gold on the hour right over here. Okay, so I place a white line for 60 minutes for 1 hour. So I can see how it was support there. I can see when the body closed below there. I can see how it impulsively broke out but continued push down. I can see how they rejected it there. Again, an impulse, volume closing below, touched it there. They brought it down. Now with this bar, you can see we got bullish volume closing above the white line. So now it's acting as support there, support there, support there. There was a deep, deep drop at 5 a.m. That's why I have a yellow line down there at 2,995. That's an important daily point of interest, and it came right back up. We pushed. That's what kind of made this leg up here. And then 8 a.m. this is COMEX. Gold came back down, but you see how it stopped at the white line. 9 a.m. it came back up. We hit the high of the day. They pushed it down. Since then, we came back up, lower high in the red box. They're pushing it back down. And then this candle opened bearish right now, 11 a.m. again to this white line, hourly support, and it's coming right back up. So we're going to see, can we see this body and this body right here at 3,010? This is like the last few hours where we have some resistance. All we have above it is like impulse moves up there. So I'd like to see, maybe, are we going to continue to come back up, trade up this wick? Are we going to get volume to close in when this body closes in the next 38 minutes? So if we were to come up, like as a scalper, if we're coming through here and we're filling this wick, it might not fill the whole complete wick and come to the high of the day. Here you got some bodies right over here at 3,013. So that, like, I just want to see if we can get some fills, like up to there, from this white line to that white line. 3,010, 13, $3 move, 30 pips, just to fill that little imbalance. You can grab 30 pips. Scalp wise, take your stop loss, go to break even. You can do something there, but we also have to watch what happens here. If we get hourly volume, continue push, then we're filling our wicks, and then there's two bodies right there at 3,017. So this is where I place another white line, and then I got another scalp zone, 13 to 17, $4 move, 40 pips. If we're starting to fill all of this, I know 30 plus 40 is 70 pips. And then I see what happens if we get close to that high of the day. But they're protecting the high of the day. They're pushing it down. They're pushing it down. They're pushing it down. Okay. So now we got to see, coming from below us, if we're picking up a lot of bullish volume, a lot of demand. Okay. And it's not the greatest on the hourly, like it's going down bearish, coming back up bullish, going down bearish, coming back up bullish. So we're in an hourly range. It might stay like this for a little bit, and maybe we get upside move, or it will continue maybe to sell off into this green box if we lose this hourly support right here. Okay, so let's go into the 5 minutes real quick. Let's see how it's trading on the 5. So this is what I like scalping. I like scalping 5 minutes. I like 3 minute candles. I like 1 minute candles. So now I can see I've made kind of like a grid to see how it reacted right there, where it made that point of interest. You see how overall the 5 minutes have been holding this yellow line. Yeah, there was a minor dip there, but got gobbled right back up and continued above it. We pushed back down to that yellow line and continued to move. We pulled back right there to the hourly at 9 a.m. We made our high of the day now at 9:15. I can see, okay, then that was prior to Wall Street market opening up, and then I can see how gold traded right here at 9:31 Wall Street market open. It came back down, didn't break this white line coming back up, but you can see now it's got resistance there, lower high, and they're pushing it right back down. Okay, so it's kind of consolidating. Let's see on the 5 minutes if we can maybe get some volume to close above this white line. We'll see what happens down here. Okay, so that's gold. It's in a tight range right now. Let's leave gold right over here on the left. And what I'm going to do is we're going to get look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ currently on the 5 minutes is pushing down, making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. So we'll see if we can find a bottom on NASDAQ. So let's do NASDAQ really quickly. Guys, if you can hit the likes on YouTube, we have 110 viewers for another chart. Let's hit the likes, guys. Because your likes do help the algorithm, but it also does help me. It motivates me to continue to do this, guys. Okay, so on the daily on NASDAQ. Okay, so this is completely different security. NASDAQ is tech, primarily all tech. Not all tech, but 60-65% of the securities in NASDAQ are tech related. So we've had a substantial bullish run. Okay, so it has been making higher highs, higher lows, all-time highs, and continuing to drive. But you can see we hit kind of like a double top at the all-time high supply up here for NASDAQ. We are nowhere near this, okay, but stretch it into the future just in case the markets recover and we come back up here. You have to acknowledge that that's where the all-time high supply is. And since then, right here, you see this structure that broke. Again, like this is where you can map this out, and you don't have to do this every single day like I do. You can have this done on your charts and just keep it on your charts. Okay, so now I can see there was a pivot right there. Anyone watch the NCAA basketball championship last night? A lot of pivots in the basketball game. Florida won it. That was my team from winning the whole bracket from day one. See, I'm good at predicting sports too. I got Montreal Canadiens cooking. They're on a 5-game winning streak. I want to see them play Toronto in the first round and upset them. Got a lot of Toronto friends with the Maple Leafs. I hate them. I can't stand them. I'm a Montreal Canadiens fan. You guys can see 93 was a good year for me. I was 11 years old. Toronto Blue Jays won. Dallas Cowboys won, Montreal Canadiens won, Chicago Bulls won, and now I've been converted to a Raptors fan. Okay, so anyone watch the game last night? It was good. Houston played good, man. Houston's good. UFC predictions for which one? The 314, 315. I love UFC, guys. Okay, now, do you see what, okay, so sorry, guys, I was talking sports, but you see what I did there? I just grabbed that pivot, grabbed the top of that wick, stretched it across, so you can see now what we're holding. So now, what I can do is continue to dissect the daily, but guys, we are on a little bit of a monthly like trend pushing down. Okay, you can see it from the all-time high pushing down. That's one leg down. We rebounded and then we found a lower high. That supply is still holding, and then the market continued to really push its next leg down. So that was that big drop yesterday, but you can see how it kind of got gobbled right back up. So we are seeing blue in the markets, which is nice, but again, it could just come up, get a lower high and continue pushing down. Volk, yeah, I like Volk there. That guy he can do everything. He's a tough guy. Volkanovski, yeah. Okay, guys, so now what we got to do is, okay, so let's just kind of figure out the bottom down here yesterday as a point of interest. If you want to grab the entire wick or the body, I would go in this situation. This is where I do kind of like freestyle. I would grab the wick, okay, because that is our low of the week. That's where they bottomed it out. That's where they gapped the market down, and that was the final drop. So in my opinion, when I always say I always look at the bodies like that, yes, you are correct if you do that, but in this situation I want to get the bottom of that wick. Okay, and then how did it react when it came down there? So remember the gap, they closed it right down Friday, and then over the weekend it gapped down, it came down, it made that bottom, and we came all the way back up. And look at this daily point of interest. You see where we're kind of yesterday's highs meeting today's high. Are they equal highs on the daily? Pretty much they are. You see those wicks? Like, I don't see that wick pushing out further to create that higher high. I see equal highs. Okay, so that's a clue, guys, that they're holding the market down currently. Okay, it's a clue right there, right in front of your eyes. You can clearly see that, and it's at 18,235. So we're going to see if we can come back up. And what we need to do to extend this kind of uptrend is we do need to just peek our head up here, just impulsively break out to create a new higher high, because when you do that, psychologically you change the entire algorithm of the depth of market. Because if you can push for a new high, what that does is offers will start to come in maybe heavier. Offers will start to get pulled more, maybe. More demand will come in below us. So everything is connected. But right now, what I can technically see is we have two tweezer top highs so far. Okay, that can change. We still have 5.5 hours to go today. Again, can the big bearish body candle, can I figure out a zone in there? Absolutely. Okay, so maybe this is going to be the top of our zone. Let's grab our Fibonacci and let's go right here from where that bearish candle opened and when it closed. Okay, so right there. Now I can see the 0.5. So I'm going to place a yellow line right at the 0.5. Okay. And then what I can also do is I can find a bearish box on this big bearish day on Friday. So what I do is where the 0.5 is, I go one notch above and I go one notch below. Okay, and there's my bearish zone from Friday's bearish big day. Okay, so now I have identified the box. I stretch it into the future. I can get rid of my fibs now because I just used it for this purpose to figure out the size of the box. And now I can see yesterday how we traded into it. We made that high there and then it got rejected back down. So that red box still held. Today I can see now how we're trading into it and they're pushing it down, but we're still trading into it. So let's find now from yesterday, we came all the way up there, made the high, we closed right here. So we still have some demand below us. Today there was a gap up in the market, so you can see where we closed. Normally where I place a yellow line is where we close and where we open, but there you can see it opened a little higher, so we have a gap in the market. But you can see when it opened up, it kind of has a little tail, it has a little wick where it filled a little bit of that imbalance and then it started to push back up. So this is where you got to determine where you're going to place this point of interest. Are you going to place it at today's opening price, at yesterday's closing price, at today's low, or just like right in between there? Let's make everybody happy. So this is what you can do too. So let me just walk you guys through the choices here. You can place this point of interest at yesterday's closing price, and if you do, you are correct. Okay. You can also place it at today's opening price, and if you do that, you're correct. It is a specific daily point of interest, and you can also look at maybe the low wick if you like in there, but I'm going to keep it in there because then I get a little bit of that gap. I'm 50% in there and I still get today's low wick. So I'm going to change that with a purple line because it is essentially representing today's low. Okay, so that, guys, that's how you can do that. You don't have to get too specific. Like if you put it there, you're right. If you put it there, you're right. If I put it there, we're right. Okay, so don't get too caught up in the technicals. Just pick a good area and go with it. And what I also do is I look at the number as well to help me out. Here it's 17,525. I tell you guys day in and day out, the markets move on these psychological numbers as well. So anytime you see 25 point increments like 17,500, 17,525, 17,550, 17,575, 17,600, 17,625, so on and so forth. It is an auction. I sound like one of those guys at an auctioneer. If I say that really, really fast, can I get a bid on 525? Can a 525 going once, going twice? Can I get 5? You know, when you go to an auction, this is an online auction, the markets. So if you start to study auction theory and how auctions work, you're really going to start to really take your education to the next level. Okay, because this is a live auction. Just like if you were to go to a local car auction, same thing. There are cars there. These are stock securities, same shit. So what happened? it was bullish, bullish, bullish. But look, we have a large wick behind us. We're trying to fill yesterday's wick. You know, when, same thing on 5 minutes, if it was a short wick and we had this open, we would have been popping, we would have been flying up here, okay? But we filled the prior resistance, and look at today's high. It's equal to yesterday's high, and we still have bearish bars above us, okay? So the trend is still technically pushing down. So that's our high of the day on NASDAQ, right up there. And since then, when we made the high of the day, we've been pushing down. We still have majority of bullish volume. Again, I can eyeball where 50% of this volume is, and it's, I'm going to guess right there. Okay, and I place a yellow line, and that's my point of interest. If the sellers push all this blue volume, bullish volume down, that's where I expect to be a pivot in the market where the buyers will hold it there. If they cannot hold that, then technically it'll come maybe push down, and we might lose all our bullish volume today. And then look at the size of the wick. It's a short wick. That could easily flip into a shooting star, and then we're moving back down, okay? So we want to see majority, can they hold today's volume? And now I can also see that we created one bottom. Okay, so this is another thing. I dissected all those daily candles, but also look at this too. This was like, consider this to be one whole leg coming down. So we found the bottom. Now we're tracing back up. Okay, so far that's our neckline, that purple line. We're seeing no new higher highs. Is it going to stay in here? Is it going to pull back down into here? Are we going to make a double bottom? All of these things. Like if these were 5-minute candles, same type of setup. What are we looking for? If you're a daily trader and we need to break through this purple line, get some bullish volume closing above here, so that, see this red box? If that's the situation, I make it green. Maybe we pull back down to here or here, and this is green zone. And tomorrow, maybe with the news on China, maybe if they take off those retaliatory tariffs, it could be just flexing muscle. I'm flexing, and they're flexing but they don't really mean it at the end of the day, and they pull it off the table. Then you could see this move, and in bullish market again tomorrow, and next day maybe we're starting to move back up, okay? But we still have to acknowledge that, yeah, there's nice bullish volume, but there's still a shit ton of supply above us. Look at it. Like, this is all supply. There was a nice pullback. These are daily candles that pulled back, and they again dumped it down. So we're getting a 2-day pullback now on the daily candles. They look nice. They got nice volume, but that doesn't mean we're just going to drive all the way back up here. Remember what I say. There's levels to the game. So we got to get above the purple line. We have to contest this red box here. We got to contest this red box here. And then we have our all-time high red box. So you can see that the buyers, the bulls, have a lot of work to do. So we need some positive news in the market to stimulate, because there's kind of fear right now. Maybe there's a lot of volume that's on the sidelines that's holding off right now until things stabilize, and then that liquidity will be injected into the markets. Okay, so there's there's so many factors. So now when I look at today's daily candle, it is bullish. It opened bullish, small pullback, but these two tweezer top highs are significant. So I want to see if we can continue to get up there, maybe break out of here, okay? And then we can continue. Where could we move, okay? So as a scalper, I'm not looking to come all the way up to, this is huge, okay? From the purple line to up there, that's a big move. That's like 700-800 pips. I'm just looking maybe to fill up to here, to this next point of interest, where there's a body close and a body open, like right in here. So I place another yellow line right up there. Can we break out of 235 and get up to, again, 525? So that's about a 300 pip range, just to break out of this purple line and fill the rest of that candle right up there, okay? So that would be, I'd like to see if we can break out of there, if we can get up there. Take it one step at a time. Now, let's go to the hourly and dissect NASDAQ's. Okay, so you see what happened here. There, it was falling right there. That was Wednesday, April 2nd, 4 p.m. That was Liberation Day, when Donald Trump announced the tariffs right there, okay? So then it continued to push. It filled, look at how they gapped it down, filled the imbalance. See, they filled that gap, it made resistance, and they continued to drop it down. When the hourly volume was trading at this daily point of interest, yellow line, majority of the volume is black and is below it, it continued to push down. Look at the retracement right back up to that yellow daily position, and then they really dumped it down right there, Friday, 6 a.m. Big bearish candle. Again, pullbacks. continue to push down. Here's pullbacks, continue to push down. Here's the close on Friday, and there's your gap down open on Sunday night. You see how it made two bottoms. There's a bottom there at the L line. It came up. There's the resistance on the hourly. So when I'm dissecting hourly, like right here, you should have an hourly white line right there. That's your resistance on the hourly. And then you see how it pivoted back down. Then it made the double bottom come up. Now you get your body that officially closed. So this white line is now support. So there's the support, there's the support, and then you had this huge, this is where they flushed the market, Wall Street. It opened bearish, 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 come out there, take all the pending orders, take all that liquidity, bring it all the way right back up, close positive. And then you see we continue to fill this imbalance, this zone here. And it went up to the red box, it pushed back down to the green box. Went back up, and you see where now this green box is like support below us. So it's continuing to push up. We're holding down in here. Again, we broke out. When did we hit the high of the day? It's right there, 10 a.m., right before we started the call. And now we're kind of consolidating in this zone right now. So we are trading in this red supply box. If we can get blue hourly volume, maybe close above here in the next little bit, in 20 minutes or the next hour, this whole zone we can flip green. Okay, and then we have a daily point of interest right here at 17,950 on the dot, and we can work off of this. But we also have to acknowledge that it can come down bearish. Okay, it can push down long gold at 3,009. We'll take a look at that. But it can also close below here, retest this, and continue dropping down to the low of the day, 17,500, maybe back down into here. Okay, so we are currently pushing nice, like it is, you know, it is bullish currently, but the overall is bearish. Okay, so and you can see the high of the day, that purple line is, look at it, it's like 50% of this big candle Friday at 6 a.m. Okay, so when you start doing your top down like this, you're working on your 50%. You're gonna, like, you know, when I say I always look at a big body candle and I locate 50% while it's happening and I stretch it into the future. This is why I learned that, because right now you see, now I can see today's high of the day. When you place a line, look backwards and you can see how you're basically cutting that candle, not exactly in half, but again, that's your zone. If you grab your Fibonacci tool on this hourly candle from the open to close, you figure out where your 0.5 is, you go one notch above, one notch below, you can create your zone, and then you can stretch it into the future. So that's what I want to get you guys doing, get you in the habit of doing that. And then you're going to find that you just got to sit and wait for the volume to come to you. And with a sound risk management plan, you can definitely work on hitting a daily goal every single day in these markets, guys. I'm telling you the honest truth. It can be done. A lot of the snipers in our group are doing it, okay? And they're doing fantastic. Okay, so that's hourly right now. We got a little spin top indecision inside here. Are we going to consolidate? Will it make its next leg up to test that high of the day, or are we going to push down? We've got 18 minutes to go on this hour. Let's go into the 5 minutes and see what NASDAQ is doing on the 5 minutes. Okay, so we had this nice big push, 7:30 a.m., kind of pivoted back down at 8. We've held some good support right here going into just prior to 9 a.m. We came back up. We closed with some good volume above that point of interest, and you can see the retest, holding. We came up there. That's where we made our high of the day, okay? And in this too, guys, this is what I see. See a wick, and my bodies are right there. So you know when I'm justifying the size of the box, why to put a box? See right there, this is how I do this, guys. Whether it was a daily or these are 4-hour candles, or in fact they're 5-minute candles. I use the high of the day as the highest point of interest, and I bring it down to where all the bodies are. And then all I see inside that red zone are just wicks. So then I stretch that into the future. If we ever come back up, you can see that the high of the day on NASDAQ could also be a double top. So that's giving me confluence that I might need to short that unless the buyers can prove to me that they can close it above here and I flip this green, and then we could be continuing to push up. But the buying volume needs to prove that to me. Okay, but I'm just marking some areas on my chart where something will happen. Okay, so now what's happening is continue push down. They pushed it all the way down. That bar closed below that yellow line. See how impulsively came up, and then they pushed it. So we bottomed out right there. You can see it stopped right there. We've got a pivot, okay? and they're pushing it right back up where we closed above it. So if we can utilize this this yellow line as support, we can buy off of this and see if we can continue to come back up here and test up here. If the volume goes below this, we might need to short it back down, but we're coming down to a 5-minute double bottom. Okay, so from the yellow line, this is what I do, guys. From the yellow line where it came down, you can see it was bearish and it stopped and it came back up. If we kind of come below again this yellow line, it could definitely come back down there. But then is it going to stop at the double bottom? Is it going to be a higher low right there? Are they going to come all the way at the bottom? Then there's our trend line and we're at the bottom where there was a significant bounce right there. Will they come all the way down to there? And you know what I mean? Like, and then I measure each move so I know exactly what it is. So right here, you know, I can place like a green box right there. But what I can do is I can go to the next, the highest pullback that just happened. And I trade off of that. Okay, so right now we're kind of consolidating. We're in here. This is where it might build its neckline. Okay, so this is where, now you see what I do? See the yellow line, and then there's the bodies. So if I was drawing a zone like that, that in fact is a demand zone. Okay, it was demand. Stretch it into the future. Okay, so it's still demand. Okay, from there it's still demand. We have that impulse break, come back down. We don't have any volume closing above yet. Okay, so I'm going to continue to watch this. We'll see how it's building. We can add now to complement the chart EMAs, check RSI. So if I check RSI, we were oversold on this move right here. It pushed down. It came back up where it was, sorry, overbought. My apologies. Overbought, and it continued to drive higher. Okay, and then we dropped a little bit and we came, and you can see the price keeps going higher and higher and higher, and the strength in this overbought territory is slowly going down. So that's bearish divergence, and then that maybe is a signal for that big leg to come down. Did it come all the way where it was oversold in the 30 territory? No, it stopped at 34, coming right back up. Now it's at that psychological 50 area. Right there. You know how RSI oscillates from 0 to 100? So there's your psychological 50 midpoint. So this is where we might consolidate until the market decides whether it's going to get above 50 and get a little stronger and get some bullish momentum, or it's just going to use this and then we're going to come back down, and then we'll see again another pullback coming, maybe into an area of demand. Okay, so that's using RSI, and you can see how we're consolidating with spin top candles forming a neckline while we're at the 50 over here on RSI. If we are to add some EMAs, EMA 9, here's the green line. This is the EMA 9. We're trading right at it. Some of you guys use the EMA 200 as well. And the EMA 200 is this purple line, and it's located right below the trend line, close to this daily point of interest. So there's probably liquidity down here. If the market comes down, like break that trend line, maybe to that 200 EMA, maybe to that, that's where they pick up the liquidity, and then they come back up and do that move. Okay, so we have to be careful. Also, if you're selling, like from this down to here, you got to measure that move, and you have to be ready, because if you get in that sell, yes, you're in the money. Like, that's a beautiful move. That's 100 pips down to the yellow line. But you also have to understand that you just broke a trend line. Your 200 EMA is there, and your daily point of interest is there. So it could break and come right back up. So that's, in those situations, you have to understand what you're doing. And if you can grab like 100 pips, 50, 60, 70, 80 pips on that, number one thing I would do is bring my stop loss to break even, just in case it bounces out. I would maybe have a trailing stop loss or securing as that's going down, and leave a runner if it wants to continue to run, because you have to respect here that the buyers might be here and bring that right back up. And if you get in that sell, you might give away some profit. If that comes down and sells and closes below here, then that's we're having a different conversation, because then there was no bounce, and then it can continue dropping. Then all the volume is below the trend line. You had a break of trend. This green box goes to red. Maybe volume is below the 200. We're closed below that. We could continue to push down and go for the low of the day. Okay, so that is NASDAQ right now. Let's put these two side by side. So NASDAQ, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for joining, is on the right. This is NASDAQ. And we have gold over here on the left. I'll add EMAs on gold as well. 9 EMA on gold. So currently we are below the 9 EMA, and the 200, we are right at the 200. And it's kind of choppy on gold right now. It is almost noon. Okay, so Wall Street takes a little bit of a break. And a lot of the algos and bots trade, and then things pick up after 1 p.m. How's everyone's day going? Welcome, guys. So just on NASDAQ, impulse. You know when we get caught in impulse trading, like right there, how it just pushed up there. If we go in a buy, then we're rejected, and so no volume has closed above there. So this is, this is a red box still within a red box. Okay, so no volume has closed above there. So those were impulse breaks. Impulse breaks. Again, we got to wait for confirmations up there. Guys, I want to get some engagement in this call. Thursday, right over here, guys, on our website, right over here, Thursday session. Okay, so for Tokyo, because later tonight, we have a Tokyo session. We got a future session from 7 to 8:30. We'll get in there and we'll get in the candles and we'll look for trades. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Dave, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Live post New York, same time, 11 to 1 tomorrow. But then we have a webinar. But then this Thursday night, you see this live coaching session. What would you guys like? If you guys on YouTube, you're welcome to join us, and and Zoom. What would, like, if you need help right now with something, can you let me know right in the chat what you need, and then I can read after the call and then maybe prepare for, or do you guys just want to do it kind of like freestyle? We do the session and just in order. If you guys have anything that I can help you guys with trading wise, we do it like that. Or if you give me anything, ideas, whatever you guys want, that session is for you guys. However SST can help you out, we would love to do that. Okay, so as a scalper, what I'm looking on gold, do you see this big bearish body? Number one, what I'm looking at is half of that. Okay, so right there, I'm going to place a red line at half of it, 3007. Okay, so is the volume still below it? Yes. So if I'm looking for buys, I'd like to see how we react at this hourly support white line. There we had good support. There it had good support. So is it going to come a little lower, again get that support, or break, or is it going to make a higher low and we're going to come back up? So it's at an important area on gold. I want to see how it will react if it gets down to this hourly support, 3002 down in here. Bruce, more information on fibs. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah. Yep, fibs are a great tool. We can talk about fibs, absolutely. Okay, so this is where now your EMAs look like they're going to create a bearish crossover. That's where your 9 crosses below the 200, but not there yet. Okay, we've got NASDAQ still pushing down. So this is what I was saying earlier with NASDAQ. There's the trend line. Okay, if it dips down below here, what's below there? There is liquidity down here. The market knows that there's some liquidity down there, but will it come down there and grab it and reverse back up, or will it come down there and grab that liquidity and close below there as well? So a lot of traders assume that if there's liquidity, it'll just come down there, grab the liquidity, and then reverse back up, right? I used to think that myself too, and that's where I tended to make some mistakes. But what the psychology is, there is liquidity down there, and the market knows it. So it can come down there and grab it and do this. It can come down there, hit all those pending orders, and reverse back up. Yes, it can do that. I've seen that a million times. But I've also seen where a big bearish candle will come down there, hit those pending orders, but then there's like no wick that revert. It's heavy selling pressure, and then it'll close below there. Okay, so then what I got to do is I got to continue to use, if it opens the next candle, then it could pull back here, but then we closed below, and this is still a red zone, and now we're below the trend line, and then it could continue to drop down there. So it's not always just to assume that if there's liquidity that they just grab it and then things will reverse. Okay, so we have to also follow how the body will close. Okay, it's very, very important. With gold over here, we tapped again the white line, and we're holding support, showing the wick. Okay, the candle now is a spin top, again indecision, with 1 minute, less than a minute to go. So let's see how it will close. Will it close right now like a spin top? Will it close as a hammer candle? It's touched that hourly support line. We're getting the support there. Yeah, Mike, that's a good question. Discussions and thoughts on indicators. You only use 2 max normally to help you with validation or confirmation, RSI, EMA, volume indicators, but there are tens, there's hundreds, thousands out there. Am I missing out on better ones? Your knowledge? Yeah, we could. That would be a good discussion. Yeah, definitely. So we can talk about indicators, the more popular ones, how to use them properly. Yeah, absolutely. Good question. Okay, Mike, I will write that down. Okay, so we got a bullish. Okay, so number one with gold, it came down to that hourly white line, 3002, held support. Okay, so also pending orders. If you get comfortable using pending orders, had you had a pending order there, you're up 30 pips in profit right now. It just came down there, triggered you, and you got filled, and now you're up 30 pips. You could go directly to a break even right now, up 30 pips, if you use pending orders and that's the way you trade. But not always is it going to just come down there and hit your order and go back up. Okay, so you have to understand that it could hit your order, go back up, but then come back down and close bearish, and then we're pushing down next leg. So you got to know what size you're using when you're using a pending order. But if you do use pending orders, word of advice is I would place more emphasis on pending orders at higher time frame areas, like this yellow line. It's a daily point of interest. This is just an hourly point of interest. The daily holds more weight than the hourly. Okay, and same with this red 5-minute one that I have up here. This is just a 5-minute resistance. This will not hold as much weight as this hourly white line will. Okay, so that's how you can understand that. You can place more emphasis on your pending order at the higher the time frame. Okay, so we got a little bit of a bounce. We got some support down there, but we're still below the EMA talk. We're below the 200, below the 9. So what I want to see is, can the buyers continue to push it up? And I'd like to see if they can get somewhere around 50% there. Otherwise, see how it's coming back down. Okay, so we're bearish, bullish, bearish. It's consolidating. NASDAQ, look at what NASDAQ is doing. So it came through there, caught a wick. We're still in our green box, and now we're coming back up. So you can now officially see NASDAQ is creating a little bit of a double bottom. One bottom, our neckline is right there. There's the second bottom, and we're coming back up. So some traders take this trade right now while the second leg is building, and they go in with this. Okay. Other traders are waiting to see, will it close above here, and then maybe buy the pullback there, and then take it back up. So there's various ways how you can go about this, but also if you're waiting, let's see what's developing here. Okay. Jitendra, have I ever tried session volume profile? Yeah, I have. I've probably tried almost every single indicator there is. Like, there's a lot of them. If you go right here under indicators on TradingView, like, these are all the ones that I have starred. Average true range, awesome oscillator, Bollinger Bands, commodity channel index, cumulative delta volume, MAGZ VWAP indicator, VWAP, the MFI, money flow index, your MACD, moving average exponentials, your moving average ribbons, your pending orders, pivot points. Pivot points. I talk about pivot points all day. You can utilize an indicator that will show you where pivot points are. RSI, stochastic RSI, stock sniper trading. What else we got? Volume profile, volume weighted average price. So there's a lot. Those are just favorites. But if you want to kind of search, like right here in the search, like if we're searching for, what do we want to search for? Say we search for Bollinger Bands. There might be hundreds here that you can choose from. Look at the Bollinger Bands, okay? So you got Bollinger Band strategy, like there's, look at all of them. Like there's too many here. It can get overwhelming. Like look at Bollinger Bands filter, Bollinger Bands alerts for 3. I don't even know what half of these things are. You know what I mean? This can get very, so you got to back test. If you're using the indicators that you're not used to, back test them, okay? Get to know the indicator just like you get to know the security. And always just keep in the back of your mind, indicators are nice to use to complement your analysis and to give you more confluence. So like right now, if you were looking to sell, see how it came right up to the indicators and they're pushing it down. So that's giving me still bearish. If the blue volume can close above those indicators, it might, my sentiment might change, and I might think bullish because it has closed above those EMAs. So you can use EMAs to help you out, but they are also, majority of indicators are lagging indicators. They print after the candle. Like watch, this candle is going to close now. It's closed below the hourly support, so it's still bearish. It opened bearish, and you can see that the indicator will start to move after the fact. So it's trying to catch up to the price action, but the price action is your leading indicator. So these are to help with confluence. They do give a lot of false signals if you just rely on indicators alone, but they're great to use. Some traders don't use indicators. Some traders use 1 or 2. There's some traders that use 10 indicators or more on their charts. And again, everyone has their own personal preference. Just understand what you're looking for, okay? Don't just put indicators on your chart because your best friend puts indicators on the chart. Make sure you understand what they represent and what they mean, okay? How about we do this on some of the sessions? You tell me what indicator you guys want, and I'll use that indicator, and I can educate with it. You know, we can look. You can give me any indicator, and I'll be honest. I haven't used every single one of those indicators, so some of those indicators I have no idea what they are. You know, but it can't be hard to figure out. Or I can make tutorials on specific indicators. You guys let me know. Okay, so look at, we're continuing with bearish momentum. That gold closed below that hourly support. So look, this is the first candle bar that has closed. We touched it right there at 1150. We touched it right there at 1110. We bottomed out there at 855. We have not closed below here since 5:15 a.m. Eastern. Okay, so there's a physical bar that has closed below. So you see the white line and you see that gap with the opened ignited bearish, the low wick popping down. So if I'm looking for a 5-minute resistance box, there it is right there. So if I want to buy, I'm going to place an alert at that white line, hourly resistance. And if I'm looking to buy gold this afternoon, I want to see, can they come in this depth of market, build, come in here, maybe physically close above here. I flip that to green, and that's my buy at 3002, and then I'm taking it right back up to, you can take it back up to your, right there, there's some resistance. I can see how the bodies have made structure right there. That would be to about 3005, and then if it can get technically up to 3007, we're testing 50% of that candle. But that's if buyers step in. Right now there's no buyers in sight, so I gotta hold back on this. Now I gotta watch what happens. We just traded into this deep bigger demand box. We're getting some buyers pending. We're getting them now filled, but we still have this bearish body. This is a hanging man candle. Can we flip this? Will it come back down? Are we going to consolidate right here? Are we making a bottom? All of these things, okay? So I can see when we push down to that daily point of interest, there was a big volume-based candle that continued trending up. So we're traded right back into there again. Are we going to get a big push up, or is it going to close bearish? Okay, so let's just be patient with gold. Let's let gold do its thing. NASDAQ, again, let's let NASDAQ do its thing. We came up bullish. It came back down bearish in the green box, coming back up. Okay, so we're in a phase of consolidation while we are pushing down. Okay, so you got this trend that is pushing down. Average true range, yeah, we can use that one. SMC, is that an indicator, or you're just Ichimoku clouds? Yeah, we can use those. RSI. I'll tell you guys my honest opinion with like what indicators I use if I use them. You see, guys, I use an EMA 9. I use an EMA 200. This green line, this purple line. RSI, I use it for looking for divergence, things like that. But you have to be careful with divergence as well. If you spot bullish or bearish divergence, it takes a while for it to develop. Okay, so you get a lot of false signals that way too. Volume bars, volume analysis is a really good indicator, so you can understand the volume based in these candles. Tools wise, Fibonacci is a great tool. Your measuring tool is a great tool. Okay, so we have a bearish ignited candle that popped the wick and we're dropping. Okay, so how far deep down will it go in here? Will it come all the way back down to that daily yellow line? And this is, again, you can see RSI's continuing push down, push down. So you see how they held it below that 50 right there when it was coming up. This is how you can utilize your oscillator right here. So you can 50, so it's still below 50. So they didn't really push above it, so we're still getting that bearish momentum on the RSI. Now we're getting down to 32. You guys know 30 is considered to be oversold, but now we're approaching a daily point of interest, that yellow line. Okay, so look at again the candle. Bearish, ignited, low wick, 50% is right there at the top of my green box there. Now this candle opened ignited, pushed down, and coming up. So I could now look at 2,999.50 is the top of this green zone right here, like where 50% is right here, like right there. Okay, so again, if I'm looking for a buy or to buy out of this green zone, can we get a bullish candle to maybe close above 3,000, build off of here? Then maybe I could look for that. But look, it's still bearish. Let's see what will happen down here at this daily point of interest, yellow line. If we cannot hold it, I can see how it traded. Where is a good zone below here on these 5-minute candles? Right here, right there. You can see that little zone right there. If it comes in here, I might place a buy in this zone below us. If we break this yellow line, here it comes down. Okay, so we're tapping right now. Look how many times we've tapped here. We tapped right here. 525, it came down, it tapped and went back up. Right here, it tapped at almost 1 a.m. Eastern, 12:45 a.m. and it moved back up. So right now we came all the way down. It's tapped it. There's obviously some pending orders there. It is a daily point of interest, but sometimes it taps them and then it'll come back down. Okay, so this candle is closing in 3 minutes. Let's let this candle naturally close and gauge some information off of it. Can I find a 5-minute point of interest? Yeah, right here. That's where that previous 5-minute body closed. That's where the next one opens. See how it's now pushing below the yellow line. So it created a new lower low. It pushed in there. Now it got a big wick because it broke that. Okay, so remember the liquidity is sitting below that line. Okay, so now it got a good response. The buyers are pushing back up, but look at the size of the candle. It's still relatively very bearish. Will they come back down and absorb those buyers? Will the buyers have enough volume to flip this candle, turn it back up bullish, and maybe we can start maybe a modest leg coming up to build something? Let's let this candle close. And again, if we're looking for buys, we are still counter trading just the last few candles and this whole trend. So you got to understand, like this was a counter buy and then it pushed back down. This was a counter move here. They pushed it back down. So even if you're looking for a counter move, you have to understand that it could get pushed down again. Similar like NASDAQ, it came right back up and they're pushing it back down. What are you guys' thoughts? Sorry guys, thoughts on gold. Do you think we could maybe see like a bullish move to fill back up there, or are you guys thinking we're gonna maybe continue pushing down bearish down in here, breaking that zone maybe down there? What do you guys think? Bullish for this side of gold, or are you guys still bearish on gold and think it's going to continue to bleed out? And same with NASDAQ, guys. If you can write in the chat NASDAQ or gold and then tell me bullish or bearish. For bullish on NASDAQ, I'm looking for a move to maybe come through here. Still consolidating. And for NASDAQ, if you think bearish, guys, you think we can break this green box and start to push down here. Go further down. For which security? That's why I was asking. If you can write gold and then bullish or bearish, or NASDAQ bullish or bearish. Noor, NASDAQ is bearish for the moment. Okay, thanks for that. Noor, let's see if it will close below here. Maybe it is still trading in the green box, Noor. So it's still, got a little bit of demand, but real no push up here. So this is not ideal for trading this territory right here. So let's let the volume do the talking. Let's let it do its thing, and we just try to pick up on some clues or confirmations. Okay. Now we have a close in 20 seconds. A lot of you guys are bearish. NASDAQ bearish, bearish on gold. Okay. Okay, so the candle now officially closed. So it broke that point of interest, got some good buyers. Next candle opened ignited bullish. Okay, so it needs to come back up and test this point of interest, 2,997. It could just come up right here, 50% of this candle, and go back down. I'd like to see maybe a bullish engulfing candle on gold close above here. I don't want to just see it come up blue and then get rejected and go back down. Okay. Tight consolidation for NASDAQ, so it's going bullish, bearish, bullish there, bearish and then bullish, but still holding the green box, and it's still holding the red box above us. Okay, so it's in a really tight consolidated area. Let's let it continue to do its thing. Body codum, what is the best time to trade gold? In my opinion, like 7 a.m. 8 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Leading into COMEX, and that time. That's, in my opinion, is the best time to trade gold. But we're seeing crazy moves in the Tokyo session lately with gold. We're going to come back later tonight and do that. So there's some great moves in Tokyo. But primarily gold is better traditionally in the morning when the gold exchange opens up. And then you also have news. In the markets, news. If you're patient, disciplined, let the news go by. Figure out your zones, figure out your points of interest, and just trade off of those. Okay, with proper risk management. But this time of the day, this like right now, this is probably the worst time to be trading gold, in my opinion. Right now it's moving, but normally, before we had all this tariff talk and things like that, COMEX closes at 1:30 p.m. Eastern in another 90 minutes. And then you don't get that type of volume. Okay, Hype Hub, stop spamming about thumbnails. We don't need thumbnails. We're good. We're a ghetto YouTube channel. We're not big on thumbnails. But I will. I'm going to make some thumbnails with my face. But please stop spamming. Okay, you see? Now you're going to get 4 times in a row, you're going to get taken out of here. Like, this is just silly. We're trading here. This is for traders. We don't care for thumbnails right now. Find other trading channels that want thumbnails. We don't give a shit here. Sorry guys, I gotta get rid of this guy because I can't even read your comments. I don't know why people do this. Like one time I can read it. We don't need 10 times. Okay, we got rid of them. Okay, so bullish ignited candle, breaking back up. Maybe we got to find where the neckline is. It came down, coming back up. Okay, same with NASDAQ, pushing up. So guys, I want to explain this. I know I didn't trade this right now, but this is a typical setup. Okay, so understand, please listen, pay attention to what I'm saying here. You see how it bled all the way out right down to our daily point of interest. Okay, so if you are in a sell, well, I talked about this yesterday and I'm going to talk about it again. You should be doing something down here, whether you're up 20 pips, 50 pips, 100 pips, 200, 300 pips. This is a daily point of interest where daily buyers are sitting here and pending here, waiting to be activated. So this is showing you how it came down there and activated them. And then there was that rejection. And then look at the next candle. Off of the momentum of trading in this point of interest on the daily with those buyers pushing it up, look at how the next candle opened, ignited, and it's driving. Okay, so if you are in a short position and you don't, take some profit out of here, maybe have a trailing stop loss, the trade could come all the way and recover and take away a lot of your profit. So try at the very least, get in the habit of securing a little bit of profit down here. And also for the buyers, look at this setup. You're going to see this more often than not. Okay, see how it came and traded, hit the pending orders, daily point of interest. This holds more weight than an hourly and holds absolutely more weight than red 5-minute line. Okay, so it came down there, and if you're watching how it came up and this candle open ignited, sometimes you might see this setup. You buy here, maybe place your stop loss below there, and you're part of this huge bullish candle, and you're up 50 pips. Like just this candle alone came up 40 pips. Pulled back, you're still up 30. Then I would go to break even, see what's happening. Now we got a neckline. You see the red box, how it impulsively broke out of there. It got rejected down. The momentum now is pushing it back down. Okay, so we've now established this point of interest is solid. It's holding. We're at now a 5-minute resistance point, trying to get it above here. Okay, so let's see, it pushed it down. Are we going to come up here? A lot of rejections on NASDAQ. Now we're trading back down in here. And then this is another thing. While I'm waiting, while I'm not in a trade, I'm observing structure. So what I see is, now I see this leg that came down. I see the official wick tap in here, but there's where the volume is, the point of interest. So I can see how it came back up. There's the recovery, and then it's coming back down. Right now to trade at that red line. Is it going to come all the way back down, create a double bottom right here? Is it going to come maybe tap this yellow line again? Will it be a higher low? But what we're looking for now is, are we going to come back up? There's your there's your W, there's your neckline. So what we could have is an impulse break. We could have volume close. We could be retesting this, and then we can look for buys to come back up here. Okay, so now I know when I'm scalping, like if I'm just shorting that, come down, how big it's 20 pips. Okay, so you got to understand what you're trading in, the zone and everything like that. Kola, could you show us the daily time frame and explain the yellow line? What was your reason behind that point of interest? This yellow line, are you specifically talking about this one, 2009.95? Yeah? Okay, no worries. While I do that, guys, it's coming down, so just pay attention to this. But let me go full screen. Let me show you why I placed the yellow line there when I started the call, okay? And this is a good question, but it's like you got to know why I placed the line there, okay? So ask a question, don't be shy. Why did I place that line at 2009.95? Okay, so back on the daily, okay, see how we opened? That was a point of interest where we opened at 2009.83. That was the low of the day. There's my purple wick. As it was coming up, I can see the purple high and down here. You remember what this 2009.95 represented? Does anyone know right now? I want to see who is listening. Why did I place that line there? Who's got it? Come on, guys. And nobody? Come on. Nobody knows why I placed that. Okay, yeah, it is a daily point of interest, but why? Why did I place it there? What you guys... It was 50% of the candle on the left. No, guys, you know what this was? Remember when we started, we had a bullish candle like all the way up here, and I said, guys, let me find where 50% of the volume was of that candle. Equal to yesterday, yeah. And also this 50% of this daily green zone. You know, when sometimes I pick where is the middle, and then I get the Fibonacci and we figure out where the high and the low is, and then we get our zone. But that's what it was. Okay, so but when we were doing this, it was up here, and then that was 50% of the volume inside that daily candle. And then you can see how it came down, how they pushed it down. And that's where I specifically said, I want to see if the daily buyers are going to step in there and hold all this bullish volume. And now it's playing out. Now we can actually see how it played out so far. Okay, so it was just one initial bounce when it came there, showing me that that volume we had on the daily, the buyers are still there. They're still protecting this from breaking down even more. So we had our first push back up, but it's still selling down. It's still bearish, and we're coming right back down. Now we're barcoding here, where it was bearish, bullish, bearish. So we're consolidating. Who will win this battle? This could continue selling down, or we're going to get some buyers bringing it back up. But I'm looking for buys maybe above here, and I'm looking to maybe continue selling below here. But if I do that, I have to understand that it could just be a quick little sell, and then it bounces right back up, because you're still trading in that daily demand area, and you also have this 5-minute zone right over here that's held for a long time. Okay, but good question. Okay, so let's just go back to split screen. Okay, so oh shit, NASDAQ broke down. Okay, so NASDAQ officially closed below. So that green box, you see that inside box did not hold in there. So I just flip it now to show if we do come back up here, that could be representing resistance. Okay, so we officially closed below here. This was where I was saying they grabbed some liquidity, but it didn't just come down here and go right back up like a slingshot, like kind of this candle, this wick. So it actually closed below here. Okay, so they did hit those pending orders, but they're still bearish. Okay, so this could continue to maybe push down, maybe to that's the 200 EMA, that purple line, and then this is my NASDAQ daily point of interest right here. This this yellow line at 17,716. So right now it's currently coming down. You know, don't fight it. It is lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. How low will it go? Will it get oversold down in here? Will it continue push down? What type of reaction will we get from NASDAQ at this yellow line? We can maybe put a pending order and see what happens. We could wait for the candle to come down there. Maybe it doesn't come down there. Maybe we start to drive back up. But again, waiting for a trade to come to you takes patience. You know, a lot of traders just think you can just go into the markets, catch a trade, and everything is all good. No, sometimes you got to let it develop, you know. Like right now, gold is, it's tough to trade this. I'm watching to see what type of structure is being built, okay? So what I see is it came down, one bottom, came back up, came back down. Here's now the official double bottom. Are we getting our buyers in here? Are they interested to push this thing back up? I see a shooting star candle that might push back down, basically back down to this daily point of interest, unless we can come back up and push. But right now there's still resistance. Okay, so we're coming back up, good volume. NASDAQ is still pushing down. So NASDAQ, okay, there's your 200 EMA purple line. For you guys that use the EMAs, let's see what will happen. Will it catch a wick at this 200 EMA? Will it break a little lower? And then there's that daily point of interest, okay? So it's bleeding all the way down, similar to gold, how it bled all the way down to that yellow point of interest. 2 more minutes to go on these candles. So you see how that candle was blue, 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 but it got rejected with that lower high and continued push down. So, and look at the wicks, lower high, lower high, lower high. So there is still supply above us. So you can't fight buys right now until we maybe see a physical nice bullish candle close above there, kind of switch this momentum, because they are buying, they're there, but they're getting overwhelmed, and there's more offers in the market currently for gold on the 5 minutes. So that's why we're still pushing down. That's a bearish shooting star candle, testing again. That yellow point of interest, maybe that low. Look at that wick. Are we going to come deep down into this green box? NASDAQ, okay, broke below the 200 EMA. We're coming down. Let's see what will happen if it triggers this daily point of interest. And if you're putting a feeler buy-in, I would suggest smaller size, because this thing could close below and continue to push down. Now look, gold broke that low, new lower low. See how it came back up? Let's see if the volume will close above that yellow line or below the yellow line in the next 45 seconds. Okay, so we're at interesting areas for both securities. NASDAQ at this daily point of interest, gold daily point of interest, continue push down. Jay, do I only put 50% boxes on big candles or smaller ones as well? I tried to put them on the abnormally larger ones. Like I would put one on this one, this blue one. You know, I kind of, not like on these little tiny ones over here. I would focus on right there, how I put 50% of that one, 50% of this one, definitely. Like these bigger base ones, like right there. If I was looking to cut that one in half, I would. This one I did cut in half. This one I did cut in half. You know what I mean? So they're like this big blue one compared to these little spin tops, and that one you could easily identify where half of that is. Okay, so let's get in the habit of doing that, guys. Okay, so gold came down, created that lower low. Remember, that extended the bearish move. When you have new lower lows, that could continue to push moves down. It came back up, and look at where it closed, right at that daily line. Now I've got a bullish ignited candle starting at that yellow line. You could typically put in a buy right now, but then you're kind of just buying with no confirmation. Yes, you're buying at a confirmed point of interest, but you're still buying against a downtrend. So even if I was to entertain a buy, you see, like right here, I could lower this red line right to there, and say, can I see a bullish candle at least close above that and maybe retest it? Then maybe I'll take the buy, because if I just buy now, right now, if I just take a buy, you got to understand that it could continue to get pushed back down. Okay, so, or we watch to see if it will build some support right here. Okay, same with NASDAQ. Now we tapped, we kissed right that point of interest. We are below the 200 EMA. So even if we get a bullish move on NASDAQ, like just from the yellow line, and we come back up, that's almost 100 pip move to come right back up to test this red box if we start to build some support. What's under this yellow line now? Okay, so under the yellow line, see the yellow line, and you see where those bodies are? So you see that small little zone right there where it used to be resistance right there. Bring it into the future, it was still resistance. That body that closed above it created support. So I know now where I have a little bit of a zone in case it wants to come back down into here, right there. So see what I just did there? I looked in the past and I got a little zone. Okay, and gold is still pushing down. So that's why I said, just because it opened bullish doesn't mean we got to just jump in buys at these points of interest. I use a point of interest to watch, to pay attention a little more than just any area. Okay, and I can see it's still bearish. If we look at the RSI indicator, now we're getting down to 30. Okay, so it is suggesting that we are getting oversold on the 5 minutes. Let's see if we tapped into that box. Let's see if we can pick up some buyers. Maybe if we can physically close again above that yellow line and build something. So you guys that said bearish on gold, like this leg down, you guys were absolutely correct. You guys that said bearish on NASDAQ with that leg down, you guys are absolutely correct. So let me ask you a question. Why did you guys consider gold and NASDAQ to continue to be bearish? Because you guys were absolutely right. I want to know from you guys. Why did you guys choose that? Okay, so we got a good response on NASDAQ at that pending order area. Okay, but let's see if it can build. Just like gold, had a couple touches, but it continued push down. NASDAQ could continue maybe push down and break here, but so far it's holding. And these candles are closing in 90 seconds, and we also are at 12:30 p.m. And we're getting a new 30-minute candle opening the market. Maybe momentum will switch on both of these securities on the 5 minutes. We are in oversold territory. We are at daily points of interest on both of these securities. Sometimes that normally doesn't happen when you're looking at two securities, but in this situation we are. So what I can do with this big red box, I can get rid of it and then just use my smaller ones right over here. Okay. Same with this, same with gold. I could get rid of this big green box, but I still want to keep it because this 2090 is a very important area, this bottom right here. Okay, and we got a nice bullish engulfing candle. Will it close engulfed? Could we buy a pullback off of this? Will it maybe just continue moving bullish when the next bar opens at 12:30? Okay, so let's make note of that. We got a good solid, came right in there. Let's see how this candle can close. Remember the momentum off of this candle going into the next 30 minutes. We might open green and continue maybe to push up, or they might watch for fake outs, everything, guys. Here's the close. Okay, so real quickly, 50% of that blue candle right there on NASDAQ, if we pull back, maybe get a buy there. Did you see how gold opened, ignited, pushed up, they brought it back down? Okay, so let's see. It's still holding blue volume. Let's see if it can continue to hold up here. I might be looking to buy gold if it continues to hold. Let's see, they rejected it. Okay, I'm going to buy gold. I'm going to go in. I like how it opened, ignited, it pushed up, it came back down, it filled again, and then it came back down, and then when it went up, that's when I hit my buy. So I'm in a buy on gold. I'm going to test this out, 12:30 buy. I'm going to bring this green zone into the future again if we have to come back down, trade in here. I want it to pick up this box. I want it to come down here. So I don't want to have my stop loss like right there. I want to give it room to breathe if it needs to come into that green box. And maybe I can just place my stop loss just below the green box, below that wick there. I could definitely open it up and place it below 2,990 down here if I like, to give it more room to breathe. But right there is good enough. I'm giving it more than enough room to breathe to come back in here. Again, what am I looking for profit? Okay, so I definitely want to fill up to that red line. But if we fill up to 50% of that bearish candle right there, maybe fill that wick and then target that 9 EMA. If it's got a little bit more legs, then we get up to this upper resistance area. And so it got rejected. It's a shooting star. Now what I watch for is how it will react in this green box again. Will it catch a wick? And my stop loss is right there. So it could definitely get tapped out here. And this might be a quick stop out, but I'm still in it, still holding. Let's see. Sorry, if I got to get that out of the way. and NASDAQ is bearish. Okay, so 12:30 started bearish. Okay, so oh, I didn't move my stop loss down there. I don't know why it just did that. I don't know why it just moved like that. Yeah, they look pretty similar, gold and NASDAQ. They look pretty similar. more than half of the candle is exhausted. Okay, so we only have 2 more minutes left. Okay, so it came deep in that green box. I'm still in drawdown in this, but that's why I specifically placed my stop loss real tight right below it. Could have gotten tapped out. It might even come back down, but I'd like to see now if we can flip this and come back up as a pin bar, maybe going into the close. Maybe if we can close again above where I bought in. We'll see. Maybe if the depth of market can change, but we got to continue pushing up. Those pending or holy shit. Okay, so there's volatility right now. Did you see how it just dropped down? So it could possibly take out my stop loss now. That was an unexpected volatility push down. Yeah, it's gonna get still in right now, but wow, where did all this volatility come from now? Sometimes news happens and causes this. Okay, I got stopped out, so that trade is voided. Now what I do is I'm going to still look for buys above this yellow line. In that situation, I just got stopped out. So I place an alert now at this yellow line. Okay, so I got stopped out, guys. Sorry about that. But it was moving up, but then did you see that big push down? So I'm not sure what caused that, but I got to continue to stay focused here. Got to watch to see if they come back up. Are they going to close it below here? This green box turns red. We're going to maybe continue pushing down. Then I might have to look for sells, like right here. I might have to sell a pullback instead of buying here. But I will get alerted here when the volume comes back up here. Okay, so it's still bearish, guys. Both securities still bearish. Okay, so it did close below there. You know, this zone that I was looking to buy off of, where it got the first wick and then it got that other wick and it was coming up. So it's and you can see, guys, how this is a little bit not as strong as another one. I just looked right here in the past here from Monday, how it held that wick, how it broke there, it came back up. I got my first initial wick, then I got a second wick and came back up, but then that initial push of that volume is still, so there, it's still very bearish, guys. It's still very bearish. Just want to get rid of this. Okay. So how far now down can it come down to? Is it going to bleed all the way out to the next daily position here at 2,982? I doubt that, but what we got to do is start to look right here. You see where it came up, it pivoted back down, came up, pivoted back down. So right here, this is another area that I would be interested in to see how the market reacts right here. Stretching it right into if the volume comes in there, and I'm going to make it green and watch and see if it will come back all the way down in here. I'm going to get rid of this arrow. What time is it? 12:36. Okay, so we're in this parallel channel, still pushing down. So I don't want to fight taking buys. I'm going to naturally let it come down, see if it wants to come all the way down there. NASDAQ, if it closes below, look at it, closed right at that daily point of interest, 17, and still pushing down. Okay, so these securities are still bearish, still very bearish. What I do now is 50% of that bearish candle, try and cut it in half, pushing down. If the volume closes below, now we're below the 200, we're below the 9, markets are continuing to push down. Okay, guys, I took an L on that. I did take an L. I tried to buy off that point of interest. Didn't work out. So just got to continue to regroup, reanalyze, and continue to watch here. And then what is left? See how it's coming all the way down, all the way down? Okay, so yes, 17,600 right here where the market stopped. Holy shit, okay, so it's really, really bleeding out. It's a big range, guys. Big range. This entire week, like these are big body candles. Okay, so you gotta from the start of the call, you guys gotta be able to adjust your risk accordingly because these are big body candles. If you just measure like this 5-minute candle and this one, these are huge, guys. These are over 100. This is a 130 pip candle. Like we haven't seen volume like this in months, in years. Like, look at this. This candle is massive. I know it looks small. It looks small because it's just a 5-minute candle, but this is like a 150 pip candle. Okay, so 140, 150 if it comes down there. These things are huge. Okay, so you have to trade accordingly with proper risk. You have to lower your lot size. Like these are big candles. This is the low of the day, this purple line, okay? And it's getting very oversold, so they're bleeding it out. You know, same with gold, it's pushing down. The US dollar is dropping, like everything is. The US dollar is going bearish right now. Gold is going bearish right now. NASDAQ is going bearish right now. You know when you say how are these things correlated? If the US dollar is going up, why is gold not going up? Why is NASDAQ not going up? Because sometimes this is how things move. They're not always correlated. Okay, so what's 50% of that candle? Like we moved away from that one. There's 50%. I really want to test out a buy on NASDAQ, but kind of want to see if it will tap into the low of the day. These are big candles. Like they're nice for scalping, but if you go in drawdown, you have to understand how much you're risking on these as well. These are not your typical 5-minute candles where they're like 20 pips, 25. These are massive. Okay, so it came up and back down. So I'd like to see, is it going to tap into that daily low? There's probably a lot of liquidity down there at that daily low. Gold is building right here, but oh man, it's so difficult. And I'm going to probably test out one more trade on this session with you guys. I have about 20-30 more minutes, and then I got to go, but wow. And the gold are big, big candles too. Holy guys. The markets are volatile. These are massive moves. Everything is falling. Yep. So that's what I mean, guys. Like, and take a peek at the daily candle. Like, sentiment, momentum can switch. Remember, it's getting now mid-afternoon into the close. Donald Trump has talking at 6:45. China, I think, has tomorrow to retaliate with those tariffs. Market is maybe digesting all of this, and it's moved back down to pushing down. Okay, so I'm looking for a nice buy at the low of the day on NASDAQ, but it might not be there, you know. Maybe I got to see if they can break it. If this body it closes below there, it still might bleed out a little more. Like it is starting to get 25 on the RSI, but you still see how it's pushing down. Gold broke. Let's see if it can come back up. Yeah, if you can pick up with those heavy moves, yeah, then just a little rebound will be 50, 75, 100 pips, definitely. But it's not easy to time that out. So I want to see if it will trigger, like come down to that purple daily low, 17,525. And we're going into 1245, another 15-minute candle. And then maybe 1245, maybe a 15-minute. Okay, see how gold is switching? It came deep down there. Let's see if it can come back up, close above here. Same with NASDAQ. It came down. It didn't tap into the low day, but let's watch how it will close. Okay, so, and then we're going into a new 15-minute candle at 1245. Okay, so can the volume continue to close above this green box? Same with gold. Will it close below? Here's the volume coming down. 30 seconds to go into the close. So now this is where I really pay attention to the last 30 seconds to watch how it closes. Okay, so 15 seconds. Now we got like a spin top. Will it turn blue? Still got that bearish. Wow, gold is still very bearish. Let's watch gold if it can come down to that daily point of interest. 29.83 down there. Okay, so we did close right in the box. It opened bearish. Is it going to come down a little further? Will it catch a quick wick, higher low? We're still above that daily. Okay, so it's turning blue. I like this, like to see maybe for a quick little buy here to bounce back up, but still waiting. There it is. Okay, so it came down in. Okay, so I'm going in a NASDAQ buy. I'm testing this out. This will be my last trade of this session. And what I'm looking for is to fill back up to 50% of that bearish candle right up there to see if I can get that. I'll adjust my stop loss. So stop. Okay, typically like below that last low right there. But if I think that this might be the bottom being created on NASDAQ, I'm going to open it up and put it down a little bit lower than the low of the day. And then my profit, then if I'm giving it more room to breathe, I'm looking for it to come back up to that daily point of interest, that yellow line up to there, and maybe break out a little further. So I'm in a buy on NASDAQ, looking for it to fill back up to that. That would be about 50, 60 pips up there to get 50% of that candle. To get to the top of the range, that's about 100 plus. Okay, so I'm in a buy. So my stop loss, I'll definitely adjust my stop loss to see if we get bullish volume, if it closes above here. Maybe if we're using this for double bottom support. We'll see what happens here. New 15-minute candle in the market. 1245, so maybe 15-minute momentum can help push this thing up a little bit. And I know it's counter trading. I know it could come up and go right back down. Okay, so let's see. Gold, good response on gold. Maybe let's see if that can close above there. Okay, I don't like those equal high wicks. Okay, I'll be honest, I don't like those. I'd like to see it push a little higher, but it didn't happen. So it came back down to the demand area, got some more bullish volume. Let's see if it can come up and maybe take out those equal highs. If not, you guys know the drill. When they make equal highs, they're holding it down. They're preventing it from going up for a reason. So naturally it will come down. So we got to see if we can pick up some more buyers at this green box. If it breaks down here, can we hold our wick? Okay, so it broke, did not hold. So it's coming back down here. Will it flip back up? Then I know that they hit some more pending orders down here. Okay, and gold was an impulse above here, coming back down. Got to maybe judge how these candles close. Okay, so those equal highs, like they're nasty. I hate them. I hate them, especially when I'm scalping. I hate seeing them. Yeah, I'll be honest. And then you got to get used to it coming down, back down. Just if it was a higher high, you know, believe it or not, that does really, really change the depth of market. Big time. When do I go to break even? If it starts to trade up to 50% of this, yeah, then I'll start to reduce my. There we go. Okay, so we got the good. Oh shit, guys. Okay, go to. Holy, I'm going to break even right now. Sorry, guys, I got to do this fast. Guys, go to break even right now. Holy shit, that tapped right into there. That was that was fast. Okay, so let's see now if the candle will close with volume above there, okay? But I'm at break even on this. Oh man, it's going to be sad. I missed out to scale out there, guys. That happened so fast, you know. That was a big candle and it happened fast. But let's see if we can get follow through with the volume. Wow. Okay, so what do we got? 1 minute left. Oh my goodness, guys. Okay, we're coming back up, but can we get that volume closing above 50% there? Can we close near the high? Will it come back? Okay, so get ready, guys. Did I take any profit? Not yet. I'm at a break even. That happened so fast. I didn't have time to take out profit up there. I'm doing everything manually, so I'm at a break even. So, but yes, I did miss out on taking out 100 pips. To make up my loss for the previous trade. But let's just see how this thing will close out. You know, maybe you can build something off of this. Okay, 18 seconds going close. Remember, let's see if we can get volume above, closing above this red line. Same with gold. Watch. Okay, here's the close. It closed right at the red line. Okay, so we got a open candle bullish, but we do have that wick. Okay, so if it does retrace back, what's 50% of that bullish candle? Right there. That's about half of it. Okay, so if we do pull back, I'd like to maintain right here 50% of that, 17,625. So it came back up, lower high, pushed down. So let's see if it can create its own higher low without coming down to 50% here. Double bottoms will be created here, but that's where I'll get tapped out at break even down there if it does come. What do you got there? Red point of control also at your red line. Okay. Okay, so it is coming down, testing right there. Now it's testing 50% of the candle. Didn't get a wick. It's coming down lower. Can we get a higher low right now and then build off of it? Okay, so we got a higher low, but can we flip it and come all the way back up without coming and hitting down into this green box? Okay. Sometimes, guys, when you know what you're looking for, like up at the red box, you can put a pending order to close at that area. I don't know if it would have triggered in that situation because that happened so fast, but on normal days when the volume is cooperating, you can set an order in there, and if it comes in there, it'll automatically trigger and close you out. Okay, so we got good depth of market coming, still above that green box. So let's see if we can flip the candle from that black bearish volume to a blue bullish pin bar and see if we can continue to drive up our wick. But you see how this point of reference is right here. It's still holding. And then they keep coming down, flushing it down with this heavy volume. Okay, there's a flip of a candle. Okay, so we got now a bullish spin top man, see what I mean? It's struggling at this 50% right here. It flipped, it came right there. They're pushing it back down. We're still building it. Let's see if we can build it. If we get bullish volume closing above there, we could build off of that, and maybe we get another bullish candle to continue to go through here. But the close of this is going to be very important. 2 more minutes to go, guys. Buyers are there. They're fighting this trend, but there is a lot of bearish offers. There's a lot pushing down, but slowly it's building. Hopefully it can continue to build and we get that volume closing above here. Okay, so it's now again that bullish spin top. Wow, they're really holding it down here. Holy shit. I'm watching mine right here. I'm still in it. I'm going to manually close. I'll tell you guys when, but I'm still in it. I'm still holding it. I'll verbally tell you guys. I'm still in it. I'm still in it. I'm still live. It was close, but I use manual stops, guys, just to give you guys heads up. I'm still in this. Coming back up with 40 seconds to go. Come on, put some gasoline in this. Let's go. Let's close strong. Maybe we can carry off of this momentum in the next bar, but you guys understand this point of interest is so technical here. 17,660. Okay, it looks like I'm going to maybe possibly get stopped out of this. It closed near the low. It's a bullish ignited candle. This candle has to build right now. Okay, it's got to build because if it gets rejected right there, I'm going to get stopped out. So we got a good bullish ignited candle coming back up, but they've rejected it back down. As soon as we lose this ignited body, it's got a high probability that I'm going to get stopped out. Okay, so it's got to continue to build with this bullish ignited candle. Okay, guys. I'm still live in this. Gold, watch gold too. It's building, it's building. This is a red box, so I didn't switch this. Watch for gold to maybe flip and start to be bullish as well. So I'm still in this. It's coming back up. There we go. Come on. Get out of here. Holy, like this is wow. And you see it's exactly 50% of this bearish candle that we're trying to break. Okay, come on. Go. And let's give us some volume essentially to close above here. But that's a lower, oh shit guys, lower high. That's it. I'm going to get stopped out now. This is disgusting. It's a crazy game we're playing today. I'm still in. The bearish ignited bar is still there. As soon as it loses it, watch. It's going to be a shooting star candle. There. I'm out. Fuck. Oh, man. It was a tough trade. It came up 100 pips so fast. I didn't even have time to react, guys. That's if you want to play in this environment with this type of volatility, it's shit like this happens, guys. Fuck. I couldn't react fast enough. You saw that. The candle just boom shot up there and it just came right back down. But that's why I went to break even, to prevent further loss. That's a tough one, guys. That one is a tough one. I'm going to admit it. That one was tough for me. Because it did what I wanted it to do. It came and hit the 100 pips, but I just did not have enough time to do my thing up there. So it's unfortunate. It happens, guys. You know, that's scalping. When you scalp with this type of volatility, shit like that can happen. Yeah, it's tough because I could have made up more in my previous trade and didn't get it. That's disheartening. But yeah, break even are break evens, guys. It happens. But what I can do is I'm not going to continue trading. I have a doctor's appointment I got to go to. But if I was still watching this, I'd be looking for bottoms to be created at this low of the day, and if it comes back up. But you guys see right there, who was asking me about how do I place the 50% at? So you see that was a big body based candle. There was exactly where I thought 50% was, and you see how we could not get the volume above it, guys. So you can see what I go through on a daily basis as a scalper. So that's what I'm trying to say, guys. People that say scalping is easy and this and that, it's not, because you see right there, even I had the right intentions, I could not react fast enough to get out. I was 100 pips in profit and I couldn't do anything. So you see, it's not just, even if you have the right move, you got to be fast. So what I was saying is, if you guys, if we had time, you could place an order in there to close, in there. So when it does come up, if your brokerage can clear it out for you and close it out in time, then you get closed out there. But that happens so fast, I don't even think if I placed an order in there, it would have got filled. But this was a tough session, guys. I'm not going to lie. I took an L, and that one hurt more than that first loss. That one hurt a lot. So that one in this situation, I don't know what I could have done. It hurts. But that's why when it was doing that, I brought my stop loss to break even to prevent this. So it's a scratch, but you guys saw there how quickly that happened. So sometimes, who knows? I don't know. I don't even know what to say about this. I don't know what to say. I'm lost for words. But guys, that's it for me. 1 p.m. I'm sorry about that. Shit like that happens in these markets. Just trade with proper risk management. Don't risk too much when you're doing this. Donald Trump speaks at 6:45 p.m. This evening, and China has news about their reciprocal tariffs, if they're gonna tack on additional tariffs. If they do that, maybe we're going to see more bearish momentum in the markets, guys. But these boxes, again, we're closed below it. It's red. I do this all day, guys. That's a red zone now. Now we're probably going to take out the low of the day. If it closes below there, it could continue to push down, and NASDAQ might continue to be bearish. Same with gold. See gold, how it just impulsively broke above there, impulsively broke above there, impulse, still below there. No bullish volume. Place an alert up there. If the bullish volume does close above there, then yes, essentially it could build off of that and continue to go up to this box. And when it gets up there, box by box, it could come up here and pull back, maybe higher low and go up here. Otherwise, it could just continue dropping. Guys, I'll be back later tonight for a live future session at 7 p.m. starting. We'll go till 8:30. We'll see how everything whatever happened with Trump, whatever he's talking about, see how the markets react when the futures market opens up. And Jay, I had the money in my hands, but it got snatched away. Yeah, it happens. It happens, But what I can say is I'm happy it happened live. Because when this happens to me, when I'm trading by myself, when I mention this or talk about it, you guys probably don't know, haven't seen it or know what I'm going through as a scalper. So there you guys saw it. You saw it firsthand. The candle that I bought, it filled right up to that red box. I measured it. I don't even want to measure it right now because I'm probably gonna cry on here. It was exactly the 100 pip move, and that volume made up my loss earlier, and I could have scaled out if I had enough time, but as soon as it came there, it just got rejected. And in the next bar, it came up, but then it came all the way back down. And you remember that, it came up again. I didn't get stopped out at the break even, it was still in there, and then next candle came down. So shit happens, guys. It's trading. I'm not invincible to these markets. That's why sometimes having hot keys, magic keys, all those things. I'd like to develop sniper keys. with one click of a button, you can maybe close 80%, leave 20% running for fast, quick scalping on 1 minute, 2 minutes. Maybe had I had a hotkey here, I could have maybe prevented that from happening. But it's the woulda, shoulda, couldas. But guys, I will see you guys later this evening. Thank you guys. If you guys can kindly leave us a like on YouTube, we do appreciate it. And live Tokyo later tonight. If you can't make it, we'll see you guys tomorrow post New York, 11 a.m. Eastern, same time. If you want to join the Sniper team, trade with everyone in the Discord, with Dave in Zoom, and join the team, guys, visit our website, stocksniperstrading.com. Take a look at our schedule, what we have all week, and also the free blog. There's a free blog available for you guys over here on the website, and there's also a free Telegram channel pinned at the top for you guys as well on YouTube. Okay, have a good afternoon. Trade careful. Proper risk management all times. The market might continue being bearish. Who knows, guys? It's hard to say with everything that's going on around the world and in the financial markets. But all we can do is just trade safe. Trade with proper risk management. You're going to have some break-evens. Break-evens, there's nothing wrong with them. You have profitable trades and you have some losing trades. But as long as you guys learned what maybe my mistake was there, I don't know. I don't know how I could have done that any better on that trade. Honestly, when I'm looking back, I review it. The buy, I understand my buy, but maybe I don't know how to explain this, guys, because it was just a big bullish candle that just exploded and then just pushed back down. I don't know. But I'm happy I went to break even. At least I did that. But guys, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Sorry about that. Shit, I don't even know what to say about that. I got to recover from that. I got to go have a smoke. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Hey guys, good morning, good morning.
Recording stopped.
Welcome to the live session of Stock Sniper Trading. My name is Dave, guys, my partner is Ron. Let's get down to business here, guys.
In on US 30, sell. Okay, I'm jumping in. Guys, that's a 100 pip drop. Yes, we caught it. Hey, guys, 200 pips, please secure.